beautiful out today. Saturday morning, and it's the funeral of Duke of Edinburgh today, so I'm in a somber mood, but I've got some stuff on the go, and birds flying right next to me, and I just thought I'd take myself out and have a little walk. It's beautiful out here today. Kids are out playing. People mowing the lawns, cleaning the cars, and I'm in the workshop. And yeah, it's not bad. It'll be a good day. Anyhow, just having a wonder. That guy there is trying to catch me up. It's a goose. I think it's a Canada goose. He looks like he's pedalling hard to get to me. Bless him. I think he's getting there. Where is he? He's getting closer. Probably thinks I've got something. Don't tell him. Right, so yeah, just gentle walk to the workshop. Get on with some stuff there. I've got a bit to show you with the camera, so stick with me if you want to see the camera. I've got to just show you this. Oh, you've missed it. These two, where are they? There's two, you can't see it. Two pigeons cooing. Oh, and a cyclist. Right, let's get inside the shop and let's show you what's going on. Right, let's get the apron on and then we'll see what's going on. Right, priorities. You either watch this all the way through or you hit the pause button now. Go and put the kettle on. You can hit the save it button and all that, watch it later, whatever. But it's time for a cup of tea. Okay, let me go through what I've done already. And I'm not used to the camera being at this angle, so bear with me. So, I've cut these down into, as you can see, I've cut these down and I've mitred the ends already. Not all four ends, just same as the A-frame. These pieces of wood were too long for me to just plane off the top and the one side and the other, the edges. Because there's a slight curve to it, I thought that if I actually just do them as one long length, I might lose too much timber. So what I'm going to do, what I've done is I've cut them in half, but instead of cutting them in half square like that, I've cut them in half at the 45-degree angle already. That gives me some to play with that way, it gives me some to play with this way. If I just cut it in half there, I would have half the timber would go this way, half the joint would go that way, and the other half of the joint would go that way. So I'd be using twice as much of the timber. So I try to be crafty with how I do things. There was an issue with this timber, which I've just about missed, I think, which is, where are you? There you go, you can see all those pencil lines there. This bit here, this split here, I knew it was there. I thought maybe I'll get away with it. If I didn't get away with it, when I cut this piece of timber to length, I cut it to length so that I could get all four of the longest lengths, which is 17 3/4 inches. Because of that, on that one strip of wood, I've used the top and the bottom, which are the two shortest lengths, which means I've missed that. So I've got those out of the other length. So that's all good. So the next thing to get on with really is is actually gluing them in place. So you guys are still with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them over here and I will try each one in the corner. So I'm going to work on the bottom one first. I want that one in place with a little slip of paper in places, maybe a thin slip of paper just against there as well. We'll see how it goes. But yes, as I said before, I might have to clean this out. So get that bottom one in, then I think we'll go for this side, then we'll go for that side, and all the time thinking about the top. But I won't glue any of them in together until I know exactly what's going on with this top rail as well, because don't forget, that top rail doesn't completely go in there. Part of that top rail has got to be cut out to allow to expose to the light. Right, let's first thing I've got to do really is run it over this thing and get these edges, then I'll run it through the saw and get them cut to width, so those are done, and then I'll get back to you. You don't want to watch that, it's a bit boring really. Right, that's done. So, well, I've done the one side. What I wanted to tell you is to maximise the timber. To maximise the timber, I've taken it off this inside first. What I've done is I've just run it over the planer 4 times, and it's taken, each time it's taken a little bit off, and it was just leaving a little bit of gloss on the edge. To push it over one more time, and it's squared that up. By taking it off this side, the small side, I'm maximising the timber that's there. So if I have any incidents or whatever, I've got plenty to play with. At the moment we're looking at 17.5 on the outside. So I'm plenty, can you see, oh, you're just out of shot, sorry. So from 17, that's a 17.5 one. From there, I'm going to mitre from this point anyhow. So it's going to come back here. So I'm a good 1.5 inch, 35 mil away from there. So that's all right. So that's good. So this edge is nice now, beautiful. And what I will do is I'll show you what I do, but I'm just going to have to pause you for a sec. Right, one of the things I do is I'm going to drink some of that, Robert, I promise. One of the things I do is I get all those sides exactly where I want them, and I can look at them, work out which way the grain's going. So that one needs to be that way. That one's okay like that. That one's okay like that. Looks like I've got to go that way. Right, so that's my 4. There you go. And we're getting some sort of finished edge here now. Finished corner, nearly finished. What I do sometimes is I actually drop those on a flat surface. So wipe the surface, good on the bed of a saw. So I can drop them on there like that. Grip them like so. That way around. Grip them like that. Put them in the vise and plane all 4 edges at the same time. So I've still got a good grip on these. They're still flush. It's a little bit off this side, but not much. And all I'm after is I want to make sure I don't get any snipe, which there is a little bit. I've just felt it. That one. Not on this one. Not on that one. Not that first one. There's a little bit of snipe on that. Okay. So I'm just going to do that again. To double check, it's gone straight into here, tighten it up, grab the plane. I don't even know what this is set up to take off, quite a bit by the looks of things, and just, it's only taking a smidgen off, but it's enough. I don't want to take a lot off. There you go. There's not much. But what it's done, the snipe's gone. That's great. So next thing, got to sort out the thickness of these. And if you remember on the board, one of them is 40 mil, the other 3 are 35. So I'll set the saw up for 40 mil, do that one first. And I'm just going to go a fraction over 40 mil so that I can, again, just run the plane over it. So I'll do that and I'll get back to you. You're going to have to come with me now. So this is the one that's really bad, and I thought I'd get that one out of the way first. That came off there. Now if I put that carefully there, you can see there's a gap. That gap is because I tried the saw the first time to see if it was on the right place, and it wasn't, so I took a bit more off and I moved it. So that's, you can see from the grain pattern there that came from there. Right, so this now is my bottom rail. And I've just tried it in here. And I first tried it in the right at the front here, at the beginning at the end of the opening, to see how it fits. And it fits, it's loose there now, but the reason it's loose is because I've had to tighten it up to fit it there. Now that's a tight fit there. There's a bit of a pressure on it because there's a bit of a gap here, so I might try it the other way around and see what that looks like, and see if the timber's bowed or if the camera is bent. So it looks like it could be the camera. Anyhow, I'll decide on a side. This fits really good across here. I'll decide on which way it's going to fit. In fact, this is the right way, so I'm going to put back on there. So if I put back and I put back bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make this flush. It's still proud there. Over here, it's not as far off. So I'm just going to run the plane over that. Right, just run the plane over that. Oops, come on. Bit more cut. Ooh. Sounding a bit, sounds like this plane needs sharpening. Right, let's try that in place. So I ran the plane over it again and took it evenly off, tried it back in while you weren't watching, and this side was flush and that side was still proud. So I just took 2-3 extra swipes off that side. Now it's flush, it's flush. So now this piece is actually fitted. The joints are ready to work, the face is great, the bottom edge is sitting nicely, this back face is ready to be glued on, that's flush there, that piece of wood's finished. So now I'm going to get on with this one. So let's see what's next. So there's only two pieces to look at because those are the 35 and that's the 40. And I've got to say, if you just look at the 40, can you just see that little bit of varnish just showing? Yeah, so it was that close. I mean, that was, oh, these are the offcuts. These are the offcuts so far. So, I mean, look how thin they are. It's, you know, when I went through the wood to find the right piece of wood to use, I can't all drop it together. I mean, they're so thin, they're so fiddly. Look at that. Well, it isn't even 1/4 inch wide. Anyhow, when I went through looking for the wood, I found the one that was, yeah, it's going to be tight, but I'd rather be tight and rework it than waste and have loads of offcuts. So, right, that one's next. So the idea for this one is we bring it over here and look at that there. Look at how, can you see? Look at how flush that is there with that face there. So that's flipping brilliant. This is flush. Look, you can see why I'm doing it now. That is sitting down there. So that, it's flush there. Or it needs a bit there. It needs a bit planing off there. But down here it's flush. The joint is great. Yeah, I know, it's a nice saw. So let me just plane that bit right. And then we'll look at this one. So let's do that. Right, that's flush now. That's done. I'll do this one and I'm going to show you this one, a bit more on this one. You need to see this bit. So I've just tried the piece of wood in there and it's so tight on that square. I've got to plane it down. And I thought it was worth introducing you to one of my nice Preston planes, which are pretty rare. This is a customised one, my custom one, but I'm just using it on that. So let me just put you back in there so that you can see what's going on. So I just need to get that corner right. And this plane is always set up for beautiful, very thin shavings. That's the good thing about having a number of planes. You use the right, if you've got 1 or 2 planes, those 1 or 2 planes you're asking to do a lot of different jobs. When you've got a number of planes, each plane has its job then. So this one's set up just to do nice light work, fabulous shavings. It's a lovely flat bottom. And I'm just taking very thin whispers off there, which I know they're, you know, half a thou shavings. So they're great. So let's put this back over there and we'll see what's going on. Ah, right, great. There you go. It slides in there now. So just a couple of pushes over with the plane has got that sitting in there now. No obstructions at all. That's looking pretty good. Oh, it's flush there. That's great. Oh, it's proud here. So I'm going to plane that end down a bit. And actually, if you look just there, can you see that slight step just there? Well, that's proving that that needs a bit off there as well. So I'll just plane that. So that's done. It's flush there now. Let's see if you can see how that step's gone. So that step was a witness that it was going wrong. This is flush now, look, so that's brilliant. Now I've got the tricky bit, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to film. We've got 35mm there and we've got 40mm going on there, so the mitre is going to be weird. I need the bottom to be flushed, so it isn't quite 45 degrees, but do I want to take it at a... Do I want to find that angle and scribe that angle? I probably do. Or do I just take it 45 degrees and then go straight up? I don't know. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's have a look at the existing plate holder. So, let's see what that is. Let's just get a rough idea of what's going on here. These are 22mm. This is 23mm, so that's about right. But up here, we've got from there down to there, that timber there, right in the centre. So that's more like 37mm. So yeah, we've got the same thing going on. So what I'll do is I'll just check this out. There's a witness there to a mitre, and we will see if this gives us any information. Maybe I should take this out. Let me see if I can get that out. Can't get that out because of this little strip, so I think it's time we took that little strip off there and had a rear view of what's going on behind here. So let's get that off. Right, so this is something that you guys might like. It's a little push button thing I did a long while ago to get some helping hands in here. So I'll do that, turn it upside down. I'm not into these blacksmith made ones. I've been used to these for such a long time. So now I'm just going to grab a chisel and take this off. And it looks like I need to take it off from your direction to go with the grain better. But we'll put up with this for now. Sounding very dry. I do need to come around there. Let me just... Can you still see? That's better. I've got a couple of little planes that could help me here, but I think I'll be alright just with the chisel. Don't forget, I'm going to use this board again for in part of the build, so I'm looking after it. I could run a plane over that now, but it might just come out. So let's see if it'll just. Hey, right, now we're getting somewhere. So now I can look at the back of these. Oh wow! Oh okay. So they've chopped this little bit out. They've chopped this out quite roughly, actually. That's interesting. For that little piece I've just took off there. So as that went up, how do I show you guys? As that slid up there, that piece of wood engaged into there and stopped it at the right place. So that's worth knowing. That's another thing I've got to do inside the plate holder. I've got to make sure that I get that in. Okay, just another job, but look at this, there's the saw marks. It's not the tidiest of it, and I could do that with a little hand router. I've got a hand router, I can sort that out later, so that's good. That's great, but does it look like we're at 45 degrees? Yes, it does. And actually, This looks like it's all added. This is great. Okay. Yep, that's 45 degrees. It stops there at that point. It stops there at that point there. And this is another added piece, but I don't really want to... We'll see. We'll see. I've got a 40mm timber, so I don't have to worry about it. I have to remember that I've got bits coming in and out of here, so I've got to do all that. Okay, well, what it means now is I can chop those tops off, those two over there, at 45, get those chopped off, and start thinking about, once those two are chopped off at 45, and I'll do it from the top outside, then that can go on. I might have to joint that. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot to learn here. What I've had to do is, you see this strip under here, I've worked it so that I will add a strip on there. It just gets too complicated with the jointing in here, and after looking at this, that's what these guys have done. So there's nothing, I'm not oops, getting away with something. I also wanted to show you the brass plate here. Look at the mitre there. And they've put this brass plate, so they know that this timber isn't the strongest bit here, but for simplicity it makes sense to mitre all of the frame and start assembling and adding bits and pieces, but just to protect it they've put this brass plate on. So I'll use that brass plate. Don't forget, this face here is the face that I'm doing here now, so that's what I'm doing. So mitres are all looking pretty good. This is flush on the top, and if it needs a plane over it, I can do that. But yeah, it'll need a strip under there. Tell you what I'm going to do now, and I want to hurry up. I want to do this bit. So you see how there's a groove there? I'm going to set that up now so that I can get that groove done. So I'll set that up, and I want to get it in this video because there's quite a bit of work to do. But I'll get that. They've got a groove. I'm doing it as a rebate in that first piece of timber, and then the next piece of timber going on will turn it into a groove. You'll see. So I'm just setting my router up, which is a lovely old Elu router, into this little jig I've made. This is a really inexpensive way of making router tables. I see loads, and you'll see this in action in a minute. So I've set that for 4.4mm. That's set. Right. I've got this pretty good habit of marking with a marker pen where rebates are, to make sure I don't turn them upside down, get them the wrong way around. So all of these now have been marked. All of these now have been marked, so I know where I'm taking the rebate off. So while I'm in rebate, while I'm working on this, I don't make a mistake. So yeah, it's a good little setup for doing rebates. I'll tell you what I've just noticed, it's a little bit worn there, so I need to run my plane over that face just to straighten it back up again. But I normally put other fences and things around it. This is just a quick little job. I normally put fences around it so that I can't actually see what's going on. Now, I know this has got to be chopped into, but I've carried out the operation anyhow, just to keep it uniform, just because while I'm set up, I might as well leave it set up. But as you can see, it's looking pretty good. We're starting to get some pieces in here. It'll look nice when the next piece is on, because that will create that groove, which I think 4.5mm is okay. I think that'll be all right. So, right, I'm going to leave it here. Before I go though, at the beginning of the last video, I showed you, oh, and I've been drinking my tea. At the beginning of the last video, I showed you something, and I thought it was worth sharing exactly what it is. I showed you that. If you don't know what they are, these are boxwood tubes, containers, and they are for spirit levels. So they're from I&D Smallwood in Birmingham, and I bought up the last 30 of them. They were new, they were old stock, and a number have gone, and there's 9 left, and I'm not going to sell any more because I'm going to keep these. They feel fantastic, but they keep spirit levels in. And somewhere over here I can show, there you go, I can show you a, I think it's a, yeah, there it is, IND Smallwood. I can show you one of them and how it works. So that's what it is. It's a spirit level container so that engineers can carry it around without damaging it or losing it. Isn't it beautiful? It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's what those are. So there you go. For all those wide-eyed people that are looking and noticing, I'll do a couple of things like this. I'm just going to show you that, and maybe next time we might discuss this absolutely thoroughbred of a plane next time. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you're with me on this, and I might do another video. Well, I'll be doing one very soon. So take it easy. I'll catch you again.